How's it going? My name is Blake Harris. I am your host of this show. The Music City Mindset is now officially on the NFM Podcast Network, which is an amazing experience that is going to allow us to get to all kinds of guests from all walks of life. The one thing that our guests are going to have in common is that they are not from here. So sitting down with a couple of Nashville natives, we are going to really dive into why Nashville. But I could not do this alone. Your co-host, sitting along with me during this journey, is a guy that is a husband. He is a father. He is a Glencliff High School icon, a Tennessee State All-American that got him onto the Buffalo Bills. He trains people in the MLB, the NFL, pro boxers, collegiate athletes of all kinds. The current defensive back coach for Lipscomb Academy, owner of the Training Corner, my buddy, Deon Giddens.
Hey, you got me blushing with that intro, man. Goodness, what I need to pay you for that, man? Hey, pleasure to be here, man. I appreciate you, man, for having me as a host, man.
I'm happy you're here. We got a lot more in common than people realize. So, your experience, not only with who you are in Nashville, but because of what you did in Nashville, has taken you all over the country, all over the world. But now you're still coming back here to give back to the immediate community that's here. Why do you love Nashville so much?
Man, first of all, just being born and raised here, I think somebody called me a unicorn, I think 2 weeks ago, which I don't know if to feel offended or what, but it was.
Was that your first time being called a unicorn?
First time, so I'm like, I didn't know what that meant. So, but once they explained, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I stand up for that. But Nashville is special and dear to my heart. Been all over the world, traveled a lot of places, lived in different places, but it's something about this city, man. Just seeing it grow from the time I came up to now, it's captured my heart, and I always had to call this home. I mean, no matter where I go, I couldn't see myself living somewhere else. And if I did, I always make sure I have a house right here in the middle of the city. But with that being said, just seeing the opportunities to come, and also some of the ones that I didn't have growing up in Nashville, made me want to create a platform to where I can kind of reach back and present that to the upcoming youth and some of the current people living here and doing what I do. So it's fun doing it. So, and they have gotten bit by the Nashville bug. Nashville, a short story. I was in a wedding in Mexico about 2-3 years ago. Met a guy from London, and I told him where we were from. His eyes lit up. It's a bucket list city now. Nashville has become a bucket list city, and you couldn't have told, you or I would have never imagined that.
You grew up east side?
South side.
South side.
South side of Nashville. Yeah.
It's done nothing but continue to grow since before we were born.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even the same city.
No.
But we've gotten into a climate where it's such a different city, a bucket list city, like you said.
It's a bucket list city now.
But now us being from here is the anomaly.
Right.
Where, like, I don't know about you down south side, up north side, to meet somebody from London.
Oh, yeah.
That was like, you didn't just meet people from Europe.
No.
Around Nashville. Now, it's the people that are here that are not just visiting, but living here, investing into the city, they're not from here. Why do you think that is?
I think one of the top reasons is the food. This has become a food city or a foodie town, quote unquote. But everybody loves Southern food. The weather can't beat the weather, and then the hospitality here, right? So, that varies from city to city, state to state. But I know in Nashville, I've had a lot of good experiences, and some of the people that are not from here, they feel at home. So you put that together. I mean, why would you leave? Why would you leave? I mean, I had the opportunity to, and I still won't. So, I think that's part of the reason. But I think once they get into the Nashville culture, and we can talk about that too. Okay. But I know the TSU culture, when people come in, I take them around to some of the TSU campuses and some of the events. They're like, oh, wait, I didn't know this was here. Like, so, me being black, I know a lot of people say Nashville just it's only country music, but it's not. And I love country music, don't get me wrong, but it's more to it. So with that being said, once you tap in everything that Nashville has to offer, I think that's the big draw.
Yeah, it's so tapping into like the food conversation, because that is one of the front line leading reigns as far as like the culture of the city.
Right.
like growing up playing football, things
Mm-hmm.
like that, you got to get a meal after a game.
Got to.
Like growing up, what was kind of like that post-game restaurant? Like where would you go?
My mom cooked, so I'm not gonna
Okay.
lie to you. So spaghetti,
Yep.
spaghetti, and maybe she know I love applesauce growing up. So
And that was post-game.
that's a terrible combination, by the way. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody
Did you
else.
mix it together?
Absolutely not. Didn't do
Okay.
that. But I just like applesauce. So she had that and maybe some fish. Spaghetti and fish is
Yeah.
something in Nashville that we eat down here. So
Yeah.
a lot of people like, grits and fish and grits, whatever. But when you say spaghetti and fish in Nashville, like, it's a Nashville thing. So she would always had that ready for me. And maybe a salad on the side.
Yeah. So I mean, like the point is that like the restaurants available at the time for either eating late at night or something that was
Crystals,
yeah,
McDonald's.
Fast
I
food.
wasn't blessed enough to have Chick-fil-A at the time.
No.
I don't even think they were here, was they?
I don't remember if there was one.
I don't think Chick-fil-A was even here. But if they were,
Yeah.
I probably would have had that.
But now, if we wanted to go watch a Titans game, because I think you and I are both done playing.
Yeah, I'm done. If you didn't know, I'm done. Yes, it's over with.
When we go to a Titans game, the length of conversation of us deciding where we'd want to go eat, it could take longer than us actually sitting down to eat.
Absolutely.
There's just so many options.
Tons of options.
And like you look at the restaurateurs that are coming in here, the Sean Brocks, the Manit Chohans, like it's not just more options, but they're like high quality options.
Oh man, you get everything coming here. It's like you can go to Broadway now. You can go downtown to where you have Eddie V's here. It's a big chain that moved in. Oh, you have Slim and Husky. Shout out to Slim and Husky,
Yep.
TSU guys. So they got a spot. Hattie B's is right there. You got so many restaurants and chains, not even just restaurants, chains coming into Nashville. So and you can't forget about the homegrown people, man. Like Princess Hot Chicken, people love that.
Cal's Country Kitchen.
There you go. All that stuff. It's
Yep.
staples in the city. So people can spend a week here just eating at restaurants. You know what I mean? Like they just
That's probably the number one question I get when people are like, "Hey, I'm visiting here for a week. What restaurants do you recommend?" I'm like, "You only got a week?"
It's gonna take longer. It's gonna take longer than that. But yeah, I mean, but that's why they need us. You got to work out if you live here. I feel like if you don't, you'll be in trouble.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
You enjoy it while you can, but you got to be active here though, which we can solve those problems too. But yeah, food, man, it's a foodie city. It is, and then it's a college town too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So college,
Athens of the South.
that's what it's named. So you got TSU, Vanderbilt, Belmont, Fisk University. You got a lot of colleges within like a 10-mile radius here.
Yep.
So when school is in, I tell everybody when school is in, Nashville's a different city.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, just from growing up here.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, Nashville turns into like, I mean, like you said, you think you're in Atlanta somewhere as far as the traffic goes.
Well, especially because like what people don't realize is there are 3 HBCUs clustered together.
Yeah.
That a lot of people don't even know there is an HBCU here or what that even stands for.
Right.
But to know that there's three right there together, it does get a little wild sometimes.
Man, so HBCU, historically black colleges and universities. So you have Tennessee State University, you have Fisk University, and Meharry. So they all, you can walk to those actually.
Yeah, and the culture of what they did for our city is incredible. Not even just from a like civil rights, black versus white type situations. I mean, you got Ed Tutall first, HBCU number 1 overall,
first round, first pick.
and a lot of people, you kind of touched on it, and I'm glad you said something. The fact that we're called the Music City, that actually didn't come from country music. It came from Fisk. One of my favorite things to drop on people that they might not know, and you can look this up, the Fisk Jubilee Singers. Yep. They sang for Queen Elizabeth.
They did.
And out of everyone that performed, she gave them the only standing ovation. She didn't know who they were or where they were from, but she said that where they had to have come from the city of music. And as coming back into the music scene that was here, that's when they started running with Music City, but people just know country music.
Right.
So there's so much deep culture that's hidden within the city that a lot of people don't even realize, which is another reason of wanting to start this show, because I feel like I'm telling people about the history and the good things that Nashville has to offer that's not getting black out on Broadway.
Right.
That can kind of taint someone's opinion of what the city has to offer, that there is a whole culture there.
Yeah.
A lot of culture that I really, even in my own city, really fell in love with my time at TSU. When did you get to TSU?
So 99.
You were 99.
Yeah,
Okay.
99. So I got redshirted. So that was the year. Man, we had Leon Murray. We won the OVC championship actually that year. So LC Cole recruited me. So I got redshirted. But I graduated in 2004. So I did a 5-year stint there.
Gotcha.
Which, what people don't know, we both attended TSU.
Yeah.
And part of the football program. Yeah. So that's something that's a little known fact. But now, how was your time there? Because I know how mine was. So
yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing I could ask you is like, how is it going from South Nashville to North Nashville?
I know, right? It's different. But guess what? Believe it or not, though, when I got there, I was maybe only one of 2 freshmen from Nashville, believe it or not. So it still, even though I was in Nashville, it felt like I was in a different city.
My recruiting class didn't have that many people from Nashville, but the class before me,
same,
with like Lil Riley, you know, C. Young, you know, a bunch of them, they all were all from here. Now, it was a little bit of a culture shock, even though it was the same city.
Right.
I came from Good Pasture, little hoity-toity Church of Christ.
I didn't know you went to Good Pasture.
Yeah, I won a state title at Good Pasture before going to TSU.
You got something on me then, didn't you?
Yeah, that's why I don't love that you're at Lipscomb, because we were rivals. Yeah, rivals back then. But you know, I'm not a coach there. You're a coach there, so
yeah, it's water on the bridges out
there. Yeah.
I guess I still like you.
First episode, we hate each other.
Yeah, I hate this dude.
No, but it was a little bit of a culture shock.
Yeah.
It was like, I hate phrasing it this way because now, after my college experience, I hate people who talk like this. But I didn't think it would be that much of a culture, because I would go down and see games down in the hole, you know, and then when the Titans came here, they would do some practice and stuff on there. So I was kind of familiar with campus. You know, it's not like I hadn't been around or been friends with black people growing up. So like I was, you know, had black friends, you know, and then I just get completely submerged into the HBCU culture. And I mean, it was just interesting because I got received differently than I expected to be received.
In what way? Good, bad?
That as long as it was authentic,
yeah,
I could just be me.
That's a good thing.
But in every other culture I was in that was a predominantly white culture, I had to like fit into the box of what their culture was. Where then when I go into college at the HBCU, it was more like just be you. And that was so refreshing because I've always felt like a misfit. I've never felt like I fit in anywhere I was at. So then to go there and be like, no, just be you, that I realized that like being around in a culture that was majority minorities, I could fit in and be myself more in that situation than any other situation I'd ever been a part of.
That's a key point. That's why I tell people, man, just be you. No matter where you are, what you do, black, white, or the other. If you are you, genuine people connect, regardless. First time meeting you, third time, or been friends for years, doesn't matter. Like genuine people, that's the way to go. So glad you had that experience at TSU. So
yeah,
that's a good thing.
There were definitely some like groups that were not thrilled that I was
part of. So what?
Acting an ass, but I didn't just like keep to my room and be like, oh no, I'm gonna stay quiet.
That's not.
But they also sold me a dream too. They told me it was like 19% Caucasian.
What's your take on that?
That included Avon. That included Avon Williams. That included online students. That included the he's already laughing. The dentist program and the nursing program. That's like barely across the line on the campus.
So you probably saw maybe 5 white people.
Yeah, well, walking through, it was like, where's the other 18%?
Hey, we love everybody. If you've been to TSU, you know what I'm talking about. This is kind of funny, but it's all good.
So yeah, I mean, that was really where I actually first really started getting the confidence to be myself.
Which is great.
In the clubs, everything.
But that's what I'm saying. I think Nashville brings that alive too, though.
Yeah.
Because you can go anywhere and get that same experience.
Good, bad, and ugly.
Yeah, I mean,
even the culture of like Broadway. I think something about this city, sober, drunk, whatever you want to do, you get to just be whoever you want to be when you're here in Nashville.
And that's the draw to it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that everybody I've run across from, that wasn't from here but end up staying, they like, man, I can just do me.
it's been a wild experience to meet people that are not from Nashville, whether it be a big city or some small town, and this is their first big city. The amount of people that feel like this is home because they found themselves when they were here. And that's something that I can relate to because I feel like even though I'm from here, I still found myself here. And I feel like that's just such a draw of why people feel like this is home, even though it's not where they're from.
Right.
But this whole concept kind of started because I do feel like as more people started calling me a unicorn and realizing that my circle wasn't from Nashville anymore, and realizing that they have this unspoken bond.
People that find themselves here in the city.
Yeah, that two people that aren't from here that find themselves here, they don't have to talk about it. They know what went into them getting here and what they can assume someone else went through to get here. And it's like a life experience that I'll never have because at this point, with owning businesses and things like I still got grandparents and like I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
Right.
So there's a life experience that I'm trying to use this show really to like vicariously gain that experience of what it would take to pack up all of your belongings that can fit with wherever you're going, cash out your accounts, leave that security of your friends, family. It's tough. Have you ever actually lived somewhere?
I have actually. So I had funny story. Well, not funny, but real story. So I graduated from TSU 2004. But during that last semester, I was going back and forth to camp in Buffalo. So I had a rookie camp to go to, had another camp to go to. So I had to tell the teachers, hey, I'm missing, and they was very understanding. So fast forward, graduated. They already had my plane ticket ready. So I had family from LA. They came in. Everybody was in town. They were still kicking and partying, but I had to catch a flight the next day, and I was out. So that's kind of how I started, like, kind of living away from Nashville. But I was in Buffalo the next day. Did that, and I would come back. So even there, you get some of the perks from playing.
Did you know anybody in Buffalo?
I did. I had a Nashville teammate there, believe it or not, from TSU.
Okay.
I did. So Lawrence Smith, he was there. He was an old lineman. Big L is what they call him. Shout out to Big L. But he was already there, so he let me use his car and everything. I didn't have anything. I'm a free agent.
That had to make a huge difference.
Oh, man, it made me feel so at home. Like,
did you know where Buffalo is? I don't mean to like.
Oh, because I'm black, huh?
No.
Oh, y'all hear that because I'm black? Nah, I did, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. And then it's like cold, you know what I mean? So here we in Nashville, it's 100 degrees. Get off the plane in Buffalo, man. Sometimes, you get freezing rain still. So it's crazy. But
was Bugs there when you got there?
No.
Okay.
No. So we're in Buffalo, and they going around after practice one day or at the our summertime deal, like, hey, Kanye West is in town. You stay in town, you can get the backstage passes. We got a limousine picking you up. He'll even put you on stage. I like, nah, I'm going back to Nashville. I left. That's how much I love the city. You know what I mean? Like, nah, I'd rather come back, kick with my friends, and get a little break.
Do you like Kanye?
Oh, that's a whole nother topic, but yeah, I do.
Okay.
I mean, he has great music.
All right.
The old Kanye.
Yeah.
But I can deal with the old Kanye. In 2004, Kanye, yes.
Okay.
I can deal with that. But at that point, it's like, hey, man, it's a red carpet. But I love the city this much. I love Nashville so much. I bypass it. Like, I don't know anybody else who would do that. You know what I mean? Like, get pulled up on stage at a real concert, Kanye West, 2004, when he's popping. Came back home.
You would rather come home?
I came home. Came home, kicked it, hung out, ate good food, got some workouts in, and just kicked it with my buddies, man, and then flew back. So that's the love I'm talking about. So once you get that, you can understand, like, the Nashville, the concept of why we're doing the podcast, then the mindset. You know what I mean? Like, once you get here, you'll find every way to get back. So I think that's kind of what it is and what
I
people
kind of had
realize.
A similar experience. My first year going up and playing arena ball. You played a little arena ball.
Oh, yeah, I played that too, yeah.
So it was in Evansville, Indiana was my first pro contract. And we got our first win. We went out to the bars, Evansville, Indiana. There was like nickel beer nights. It was, like, the team was called the Rage, and I talked to a club owner, and from like 11 p.m. to midnight was Rage Hour. All draft beers.
What do you mean Rage Hour?
That was the
like
name of the team.
Rage?
But it was nickel beer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so all draft beer was a nickel.
Yeah.
And that 11 is usually when we showed up to the club. And it was the same thing. They wanted to roll out the red carpet. They wanted to make sure, like, their club felt like, a premier club.
Oh, yeah.
and we had a good time. But I pretty much used my whole first paycheck. You know how Arena was.
Yeah.
I used my whole first paycheck just on beer for everybody else.
Just giving back.
Yeah. And so I got time to like leave the club.
Mm.
And I was driving back to the hotel where I was living at, and it was like take this exit to get off at the hotel.
Mm.
And then I don't know why, I just didn't get off and just drove home like 2:00 in the morning.
Did you go back?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, man, you just left.
Yeah, I just left. I was supposed to we didn't have practice. We won, so we didn't have practice for a few days.
Right.
So I had a long weekend anyway.
Yeah.
And I somehow it just clicked in my mind. If I stayed and like went to the hotel, by the time I get up, get some food, maybe do some laundry, I'd lose that whole next day. And so it just clicked instantly, and I didn't get off the
So you didn't even think about it.
Didn't even think about it.
How long a ride is that?
2 hours.
So ain't not bad.
No, not too bad.
But that's the thing. You'd rather ride 2 hours and go back
in
to
the middle of the
hotel down
night,
street just to get back home.
Yeah. And so at the time I was staying in North Nashville, but I would drive by everything. I started doing this every time I go home. I would drive by home, keep going, circle around on 65, the loop of the city, just to see the Batman building, and then I go take it to the crib.
Well, see, man, that's like an iconic scene, though. You know what I mean? Like,
but it was something about the
Batman building.
It just made
the tiny
me,
stadium. You know what I mean? Like, it draws you here. I don't know. It's like some type of secret power they have or something. I don't know, man.
The skyline's telling you like rock on. I don't like it. But I would have to see it when I saw that. No matter how much time I spent away from home, even like vacations and stuff. Yeah. I started doing that, even if it was out of my way. I'd go out of my way.
So it became like your routine.
Yeah, to go by,
even
see the skyline. Yep.
Really?
And I give one of these to the Batman building.
Every time you ride by.
I don't know, it just makes me
feel good,
like I'm home.
I mean, I had that same feeling though. I just got off a flight Monday, and was in LA for a couple of days. Man, kicked it, had a great time. But it's something about being back. Even just getting off the plane is different. Like just the smell of the city is just different from anywhere you go. I feel like so. That's the allure, man. Like I don't know. It's something about it, man. So I can't wait to dig into the minds of these other people, man, to come in and tell us their story too. Because I'm pretty sure we can relate on a lot of different levels. A lot of them.
Mm-hmm. So with you working with some of like the high level, elite level athletes that are coming here, people that have the finances to literally go anywhere they want to, after they kind of spend some time here, what are you hearing them saying? Like if it's their first time here, or like, is Nashville what they think it is? Do they expect, do the people working with you, do they expect a little bit like hokey country?
Oh yeah.
Rednecks.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then they get here.
Listen, they think, I mean, they're shocked when they see black people in Nashville. I guess it's like the the perception that they have of, I don't know, but when they get here, it's like, oh man, I didn't know this thing was here. Well, I didn't know this was going on. So it's an eye-opening experience for them when they come in for the first time. But as they get here and they go back home and come back to Nashville, like, wait a minute, upcoming years, I'm gonna move my family here. I'd rather be in Nashville than go back to where I'm from. So eye-opening experience for them initially. Didn't really know how big of a deal the city was, just meaning as far as the culture here. But once they get here, it's like, oh man, they tapped in. I mean, this is within the first couple months. They're like, oh dude, I didn't know. Then you can't beat the prices here. Yeah. Compared to LA or New York, but you know.
People from the small towns or that grew up in Nashville.
Right.
It's like the prices are going through the roof.
Well, I mean,
if you ever spend time in LA, New York, it's still different.
And that's the one thing they say, like, just to raise the family here, because a lot of those guys have kids, you know, and wives, and even the ones that are single, they still like the scene here, though.
Taxes.
Well, the property taxes are different, right? So they can come, big corporations come move in.
Income taxes are different.
Yeah, everything, you know, because what people don't know, who haven't really played ball or had the opportunity to experience that, you know, state tax is different in every single state, hence the state tax. But if you're an 18-year-old kid or 20-year-old kid leaving college and going to play professional football, you go to Texas, they take up way more than your check. You come to Nashville, they're like, oh man, I can live here. You know what I mean? So they'd rather spend their time here in Nashville for a lot of different reasons. But, you know, cost is definitely one, for sure.
The city you grew up in, turning 18, hitting the clubs, versus now fast forwarding over 20 years. If you could have taken you growing up and put them in this city that we have now, what do you think would be the most shocking part of any of it?
Going back to how we grew up,
Mm-hmm.
oh man, the club scene. I mean, just the nightlife. Nightlife has changed big time. You know what I mean? So I remember going to Mix Factory for teen night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like teen night back then. So a lot of stuff has changed as far as like just the hip hop scene. But we starting to kind of get it back. But that's the one thing I have noticed. Like, hey, the scene back when we grew up, it was a lot of places to go to. Far as just
dancing and hip hop.
Yeah, actually just dancing, having a good time. You know what I'm saying?
Graham
like,
Central.
Yeah, all
Faded.
that. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of places that, you know, I wish they brought back. Not mad at what they're doing now, but we need more of a kind of hip hop scene. Far just or lounge, quote unquote. You know what I mean? Someone just kind of chill, hang out. So they're here. So I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Nashville. So, but as far as the era that I grew up in, late '90s, being a teenager in the late '90s, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Pre-Titans, you know what I mean? Pre-Titans. So.
Well, and the Titans coming in to Nashville, I think, is what helped kind of change the nightlife of it a little bit to have somewhere for them to go.
Right. You got to cater to those guys.
Yeah, you have to.
I mean, you have to. I mean, you getting a group of young kids coming in, man, and young men coming in with disposable incomes. They're going to get into something, so might as well set something out and, you know, make sure they have a good setup and enjoy their experience and the time here.
So tomorrow you hit the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
300 million hits your account tomorrow when you wake up. You're still living in Nashville.
I would have a house in Nashville. Bottom line. Now I'm going overseas and getting, you know, Caribbean something as well, you know, something that's oceanfront, but I will have a home in Nashville.
Where's your lady from?
She's from here as well.
Y'all go to school together?
Did not. But she went to Hillsborough High School.
Okay.
So another Southside school.
Yep.
So shout out to Hillsborough. She actually won a state championship there too. Basketball.
Okay.
So she has another thing over my head. So you got a state championship in football. She has one in basketball. So, you know, I'm the short end of the stick on that. But yeah, she's from here.
You made it to the league. You got me. That daughter of yours.
Yeah. She's gonna
athlete.
be good.
Yeah.
Took her swimming for the first time yesterday.
Yeah.
And she tried to go full on underwater. Not scared, kicking. So I'm like, yeah, we got an athlete on the hands. So yeah, I think she's good.
The direction of the WNBA.
She'll do something. It's quick, soon, and fast. I promise you that. But nah, we both born and raised here in Nashville. Now her parents are from Fayetteville, so Lincoln County. For those who don't know, Lincoln County. But my parents are born and raised here as well. So it's cool, man. And the funny story about that is my parents moved once I left college, and both of our parents live about 5 minutes down the street from each other. Never knew it.
Really?
Before we met, never knew it. Yeah. So now with the babysitting, it's a lot easier. I go 5 minutes, man. I'm good. 5 minutes down the street, I'm good.
You just got a street of babysitters.
Yeah, I might throw up there. You know what I mean? Like whatever. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I have both sides of my family. Like the people who became my grandparents, like all grew up together. My grandparents' first house was actually like right there in Germantown before Germantown was anything.
So how about that though? You remember seeing like Germantown before it did what it did now?
I'm trying to get all this framed up. This would have been my mom's gonna get mad if I get this wrong, but like early 50s. My grandparents got engaged, but my grandfather gave my grandmother the option of like, do you want a house or a ring?
House or ring?
Yeah, because I mean,
yeah,
couldn't do both.
I can't wait to hear what she picked.
She picked house.
Okay, there we go.
He worked at those lofts there off Rosa Parks, right, like across the street from the Kroger. That used to be a factory. My grandfather worked at that factory. She chose house. He chose a house right beside the factory, so it could be very accessible to work. I don't have the exact numbers, but she says that somewhere like in the attic, she has all of the paperwork. They stayed there until they decided to grow a family, and they needed a little bit more property. And he transferred over to the Ford glass factory. But when they needed more property to raise a family, they sold their house to their neighbor who was renting that, so to give that neighbor the opportunity to be a homeowner. And she talks about the feeling that they had that in the city of Nashville in the 50s, they over doubled their money of flipping that house and selling it.
In the 50s. Wow.
on 7th and Taylor in Germantown, they sold it for something like just less than $4,000.
Wow. That's crazy.
On that same block, there's a house that's like going for 1.4 million.
I'm gonna say, dude, those are $1 million houses, man.
Yeah.
Wow. See, my grandmother stayed on the other side of the Kroger's right there.
Yeah.
So right behind like Louis Center and all that stuff. So had a lot of family on that side. My dad grew up in North Nashville, so
Gotcha.
I'm familiar with that area.
Yeah,
But
I've
it's
really
crazy.
only spent time north Nashville, north of Nashville.
I gotta take you to the south side, man.
Yeah, show me
We gotta
around.
roll through.
Yeah.
What's it called? Like WeHo or you know what I'm talking about? Whatever it's called. Y'all know what I'm talking about. West Houston. Or I don't know what they call it now.
Yeah. The I guess it's like the real estate agents that are
Who
like
comes up with this
coming
stuff?
up with these neighborhood.
I don't know, man. We
Names.
gotta find out who
There's
comes
so
up with
many
these
that-
names, man.
Yeah, and people will talk to me like I should know them.
I have no clue. So I mean, this is the funny part. They come to me like, "You supposed to be from here. You don't know any of the new names. You don't know anything." I'm like, "No, I grew up on 8th Avenue South. Like I know that. I know Wedgewood. All this other stuff
Yeah.
you're talking about, Woodbine area. That's originally where I'm from. It's Woodbine.
Okay.
So a lot of my friends grew up in Edge Hill. So I spent a lot of time in Edge Hill, off 8th Avenue South. So
Yeah.
and that's Glencoe
Fridge.
zone. Yeah. So I know. Yeah, that's my
Yep.
guy. Shout out to Fridge, man. Yeah. So he's younger than me though. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So they
Yeah.
all young. I'm old, man.
You look good though.
Oh, thank you. I'm not gonna date myself, but yeah, I'm old.
All right.
40 and up, holler at me.
I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and hear from one of our sponsors, and we'll be right back. And we are back. So you're saying you're more from like the Woodbine, grew up around Edge Hill.
Yeah, grew up in Woodbine, but
Woodbine.
spent time in Edge Hill. So, you know, like I said, these names or these locations now, the neighborhoods I don't get, but
Yeah.
but Woodbine is home to me.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I got all my stuff at in Woodbine.
So just looking at the climate of the city, celebrations, parties, things like that. Like where was obviously you said your mom did a lot of cooking, but if you were going to go out for like a birthday,
Okay.
or you know if your like parents would have been celebrating an anniversary or something, like what was the typical like go to restaurant?
Then,
Yeah.
I mean, my my dad is, man, he's kind of cheapskate, man. Sorry, Dad, but you kind of cheapskate. So we'll be at Chuck E. Cheese for a birthday, man, or kind of do stuff at home, man, make their own cakes. But you remember Showbiz? Y'all too young for
Yeah.
Showbiz?
No, I remember we had that, but we had Discovery Zone up in Rivergate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember Showbiz had this big rat playing the drums or something like
Yeah.
so the kids would come in there and just kind of scream. But yeah, that's why I did my birthday big. Or the skating ring, Brentwood skating ring. Skating was
So
big.
you went to Brentwood to skate.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we did on this side. We didn't go all the way to Rivergate.
Okay.
That's too far for me. But or Charlotte. We didn't do Charlotte. But we did we did Brentwood.
Yeah, we had one in Jolton because I spent a lot of time growing up in Jolton. But
Okay.
the big one was Rivergate skating ring.
My aunt, she taught at Jolton. But yeah, we went to Brentwood, man. So those are fun times right there. So that's like birthdays for me would be like Showbiz, Chuck E. Cheese, Brentwood skating ring.
Now it's like I make a list of restaurants of like, okay, for the next time we're going out, like this kind of date night or celebrating this, and it's like there's more restaurants popping up that I
man.
can't even work through the
Listen,
list.
to get through, like, all right, so you got to check out the Nashville food scene as far as like date night, dinners.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You like seafood?
Love seafood.
Eddie V's, have you been?
I have been to Eddie V's.
All right, that's a good one. My wife just took me to Frank Sinatra's restaurant
Okay.
for the first time.
How
like
was
the
it?
old downtown. you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Had a guy in there singing all the Frank songs, you know what I mean, Sinatra songs. So it's a nice vibe, man. I recommend everybody go to that.
What'd you
check
have?
it out. We had pasta. So we shared like two different pasta plates, man. Champagne, wine, it was good. Yeah, so shout out to Frank Sinatra's restaurant, man, downtown. It was awesome, phenomenal. But all the steakhouses are popping up everywhere.
Yeah. There's a
I'm not a
steakhouse on
huge
every corner.
steak eater like that, believe it or not. Like
Is that a health thing or?
Yeah, just kind of like dial down on the red meat. So
Okay.
every now and then I treat myself. But red meat and pork.
Does your
I kinda-
body not like do well with it?
Not really. Not really.
I gotta have it.
Yeah, I mean, but it's good for you though.
Yeah.
It's good. So when I get it, I want it. Bourbon Steak is great. Bourbon Steak has a great steakhouse. Good steak, good vibes, good views. And then like the rooftops. What rooftops do you like to go to?
Man,
If we get out right now, like, all right, Blake, let's go. We hitting the rooftop.
Well, it depends. So my girlfriend works downtown.
Yeah.
At Nudies. So if she's working, gonna pop in there. Some of the hotel. I like going to the hotels.
The
bars
rooftops
are one thing, like they're cool, but like the hotel rooftops tend to be a little bit chiller.
It's chill, yeah.
Yeah. But that seems to be the move if we're going to rooftop.
Yeah,
there was no rooftops growing up.
I mean, the Mix Factory had a rooftop. Do you know that?
Graham Central Station did have a rooftop, but that was really just like the smoking section.
Yeah, right. You wouldn't know nothing about that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh man, I was Newport all day.
Newport's good thing you working down there.
Yeah.
Like, nah.
Yeah, they had like a live band while you up there.
Yeah.
Ripping a cig, trying to cool off on going back down to the light up dance floor.
They need to bring those back. They're like.
Do you think you can do that in today's culture?
What, dance like that?
No. I mean, obviously dancing like that, but like it was. You went to Graham. I know you said Mix Factory. Did you go to Graham's?
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah.
Because like downstairs was like almost like Coyote Ugly, like dive bar.
It's like 5 levels to a Graham.
Yeah, but like each level like had its own like.
It's like playing a video game.
Yeah, it was like where the white dancing people hung out, where the black people hung out, where the rednecks hung out, like and where the old people hung out.
Yeah, they had like 5 different levels, 5 different vibes, different scenes. But
you think we can mix?
I think we
like
could.
That now?
I think we could. Just gotta be strategic on like the placement of it and just kind of like what levels what.
I'd like to think we could. We need something like that.
I think we can do it. We should talk. That's our next venture right there.
Yeah, pin that. We're gonna start that.
Yeah, it'll be cool though. It'll be cool.
Oh man. But yeah, restaurant scene's different. Bars are different.
Yeah.
There is not a lot of hip hop anymore in Nashville, and I think that does lead to why people think that Music City is associated with country music,
right?
Because there's not a lot of hip hop. Why do you think there's less hip hop here than it was in the '90s?
I think it is. I think it's just being presented a little differently now.
You gotta go out of your way to find it.
They don't have it mainstream far as like in your face as much as country music, but it's a big rap scene here too though.
Is hip hop dead?
Never. Hip hop's not dead.
Hey, Beyonce's doing country. Hey, Postie's going country. Everybody's going country now.
I mean, but it's hot. I mean, country's always been hot though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I compare country music to rap anyway though.
There's so many similarities.
And people laugh at me, and then I say, well, just think about it.
Yeah.
You can say what you want to say. You don't care who has anything to say about it. And it's all coming from like the heart. It's genuine. It's not a pop song. It's not this. Like it's coming from the heart. Like you telling your pain, your struggle, good, bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
It's a lot of crossing.
My mom was not a fan of real rap.
Yeah. What's real rap to you though?
So I came up. My favorite's Bone Thugs and Harmony. I'm a bonehead. If you give me one album that I've got to listen to, like on a deserted island type thing,
it's Bone
Thugs.
There you go.
But she just was talking about like the wholesome of what is country music.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Mom, they talk about the same thing.
It's
and she said, oh, no, they do not. And I'm like, you ever been hotter than a hoochie coochie?
What'd she say to you?
She didn't know what to say.
Oh,
I would just be saying stuff that people don't know how to take me.
Nah, man, it's all the same.
But it's all the same. It's just, again, it's how it's presented.
So that's my thing. It's just about how it's presented. You know what I mean? And just, but I do feel like it's a growing, it's coming back.
Yeah. It almost seems like people gravitate towards whatever is the rebellion. Like, there was so much country in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, if you wanted to not be mainstream, you went hip-hop. Then it seemed like everything went hip-hop. And then now it's like the rebellion to be against what is mainstream is coming back to country. And that directly does affect this city as Music City, the fact that people associate country music here. The amount of stars that are just hanging out here.
That's unbelievable. I mean, like, when we go, and I keep saying LA just because I just got back, but they're flocking to Nashville. Mm-hmm. Like to... Not even just country music, just the recording studios alone here in Nashville, like they're top of the line across the world. So you get so many people. You can go to Green Hills Mall and run into anybody.
Who's the first celebrity you just ran into?
Oh man, I had to think back on that. Ran into probably Steve McNair.
Yeah.
Just back in the day, just running around. You know what I mean? Saw him at the barbershop actually. So ended up having the same barber back then. So that's just one of the few, but it's so many.
But now it's like everywhere.
It's kind of spread out.
Yeah.
But you'll see them anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like anywhere. Does not matter. Your local bar, restaurant, workouts. The workout scene is big here too.
Yeah.
So, fitness is big. So a lot of people want to stay in shape. So Nashville's a fit scene too. So all that combined is why we doing this. You know what I mean? We touch every single category.
Yeah.
Different genres, all that comes together right here in Nashville. So that's what makes this space so special.
To me, and of course, obviously, I'm very biased, but I agree with you 100%. If I hit the lottery tomorrow, I'm still going to live in Nashville.
Gotcha.
So money aside from anywhere, being able to have the opportunities to go anywhere, I'm going to stay here. And to me, this is the greatest city in the world.
Why? Why would you say that? New York, LA, Texas, you got land.
Part
Florida.
of it is my perspective is I haven't really spent a lot of time in those cities.
Mm.
So to me right now, I would feel lost in those cities. If I could just teleport and I'm right in the middle of Times Square, I don't get like real uncomfortable in a lot of places, but I would be lost. I don't know how to navigate that. So for me, it is more of a familiar territory. It is home, but it's just been growing so much, and to the point where some of these people came here for college or a job, and they've been here since like 2012, and they all stay. But now they're the ones complaining, like, "Well, this isn't the Nashville that I grew up with." It's like,
oh yeah,
your Nashville wasn't the Nashville I grew up with,
and yours was the one I grew up with because of the age group. So it's like, man, it's like an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I've seen so much change. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you gotta embrace it though.
Yeah,
it's only for the better.
But I think it's the people that are here.
Right.
I mean, the city, it's not the buildings and the architecture because everything is new. It's the people that are here that make it great.
Right.
You've got so many people that are here trying to find themselves that it's such a open-armed city, ready to just accept you with however you are, whether you're a multi-millionaire developer or you're a struggling musician trying to find a way to make it.
Man, shout out to those guys, man, and girls, man. That's tough,
it's still
man.
happening. I mean,
I see it all the time. It's tough. It's tough. It's a tough city. You know what I mean?
So I worked downtown for a while, and there was a guy that showed up one morning, drove all night long, just so he could plan on being at Broadway when the bars open. Then what he didn't know is the night before, a bunch of people got fired because they were doing some dumb shit.
Oh man!
At Tootsie's, and he walked in,
which is legendary, by the way. That's a legendary.
I worked in that purple building for a long time.
Yeah, that's legendary.
And he walked in, and was like, one of the guys that got fired the night before was supposed to be the opening bar back. So when they opened, there was no bar back, and he just happened to walk in this bar and asked if they had a job, and they were like, we were just trying to figure out what happened to our bar back. He got fired last night. Can you work right now? And he just jumped in and started working.
It's crazy.
But he was a musician, so he started dabbling, like jumping up. He would be bar backing and then jump up and play guitar with some of the bands.
That's wild.
Yeah. And then things just started evolving with him musically, and now he tours with Trick Pony. So like those stories of like making it are still happening.
Oh, they happen.
And if it's the people that are here, this like, especially in fitness or any problem, I try to reverse engineer problems to find a solution to where I am now. And if I'm going to say that this is the greatest city in the world, it has to be because of the people that are here. But if the people that are here are not from here, why are they coming here to make this city great? And essentially that's why we're sitting here.
It's going to be a deep question, man, for a lot of people, but it's going to be heartfelt too, because a lot of these stories are like heartfelt stories like that. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes the struggle or the pain will lead you right here to Nashville, and you can kind of, like you said, rebrand yourself. You can kind of just be you, just be authentically you.
Exactly.
And, that's what the city offers, man. So it's going to be fun getting into these brains of some of these people coming on and the guests, man. I can't wait to do it.
It's gonna be exciting because there's gonna be a lot of successful people here, and I don't want this being a show where we're just talking about this success and how things are great now that you got money.
We want the real.
The struggle, the mindset that it took for you to start something new here and fall in love with the city is what any of these listeners can expect to figure out. So whether you are someone who is obsessed wearing B&A hats and or if you're one of these people out there that's
bachelorette parties, man, going down to seeing the
so
trailers.
There's so many.
Yeah.
Kind of funny story. I was still at Tootsie's.
Was you on one?
Do what?
You did one?
No. But I was a bouncer at Tootsie's for years, and I guess it would have been 2011, maybe 2000, very beginning of 2012, right after New Year's. There was a girl, the line wrapped around the building, wrapped around the corner, and we're one in, one out, and all of a sudden, a group of these girls, all wearing pink, walk up. I didn't know what they were celebrating or anything. And one of them has a giant inflatable penis. And
Welcome to Broadway.
In Nashville, in 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
I don't know why she has that. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I was telling her, I was like, I don't know that I can let you in with that. Like,
With that.
I don't, what are we doing here? And it ended up where she was like almost trying to like hit me with it a little bit because she had to wait. They had a group of like 7 or 8 of them, and so I've got to wait for 7 or 8 people to come out before I let any of them in. Yeah. And so now I'm getting annoyed
Because you get hit in the arm with it.
Yeah, and they're wanting to go in and they're wanting to party and they're finally made it to Tootsie's and I'm not letting them in. So I'm making it take a little bit longer than I probably should have.
Yeah.
And then she starts like tapping me with it, like. And I put my hand on it. I said,
the inflatable penis you got tapped in the head with.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told him, I said,
does anybody have record it anywhere?
No, I mean, if you know anything about Tootsie's, you know those security cameras didn't work.
Yeah. We can't say that.
I put my hand on it. I said, hey, I know y'all waiting that long ass line, but if you hit me with that one more time, you're not coming in. And she like started whining and complaining, and she reared back and hit me with it. I was security. I had like a little knife on it. I just popped it and told him to get out of line. But I didn't know. At that time. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
That was a bachelorette party.
It's a big deal though.
And now we're literally
deal.
Past Vegas for like bachelorette
it's big.
capital. And now everybody's wearing like little, penis necklaces, straws.
Listen,
and now it's a symbol. You can see a penis like a silhouette of a penis. It's like a bat signal.
Yeah.
And like know that it's a bachelorette. But I didn't. No one knew what it was back then.
No, you didn't.
I didn't know that bride to be. I just ruined her night.
You did.
Yeah.
But she remember that experience though with Tootsie's forever.
Yeah.
Forever. Yeah. My wife did a bachelorette trip here.
Really?
She stayed right here. Had a ball. Dropped off, picked up. Man, they had.
Did you go? Did you leave? For yours?
Yeah. No, I didn't.
For your bachelor party?
I chilled out. Yeah, I just chilled. Real low key.
I went to Louisville. You partied in Louisville?
Once or twice.
They got some like underground scenes there that's really cool.
Yeah, once or twice.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys come here though.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just couldn't do it here.
Yeah, no, that's too much.
Nah.
But if you are looking for a place to come, Nashville is a great city for it though.
Yeah, it is. You got to do the Broadway thing once if you've never done it.
It's a must.
Yeah.
It's kind of like going to the beach in L.A. or in Miami or South Beach thing. When you're from here, you kind of don't do Broadway as much. Mm-hmm. But what is coming into now, it's a lot of stuff to offer on Broadway now. Yeah. Now. Back then, though, it's one of them things. Hey, if you're at the beach, you don't really go that much.
No.
So
that's how it always was growing up. Because I mean, it really wasn't nothing but a group of country dive bars and hot dog stands. Well, even before that is brothels.
Hooters on 2nd Avenue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much it's changed.
Games. Yeah, I know it's crazy. It's wild, but I love it though. People here love it. That's why they stand. So we got to make sure that they stay. It's our job to make sure they stay. I feel like if you come into Nashville and you claiming this is your home, quote unquote, or if you are native, then you show them the Nashville way. You know what I mean?
How long do you, in your opinion, do people have to live here before claiming Nashville native?
The unwritten rule, I think you got to give yourself anywhere between like 3 to 5 years to say that. You know what I mean? I've lived in New York, lived in
Hey,
D.C.
you're more lenient than I am.
I'm just saying at least. I'm saying at least to say, I'm not saying you're from here, but you know, at least to say, all right, I'm that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like I'm in the city, I'm enjoying it. So at the bare minimum, but I mean that's for anything though. 5 years, but some people claim in Nashville in 6 months.
Yeah.
7 months, a year, and you don't know anything about the scene. Not knocking it, glad you love it, but it's a lot to do. It's a lot more to it. You know what
There's
I'm
a
saying?
lot of history here that you're claiming that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just it does get annoying.
It does, especially when they do all the commercial stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we here on this show, we gonna get into like the real stuff, some of the roots, and you know what I mean. Like
the show Nashville, I was on an extra for that for a long time. I did some acting stuff.
I do remember the show Nashville.
And but like, I'm sure within some realms of the country music world, it wasn't completely inaccurate.
Right.
But there were people that I met from England, from
on the show?
Maine. No, that would come to Nashville and expect.
All for it to be that. What was displayed on the show?
That our downtown, was going to be what they saw in the show.
What did they show on the show? I don't think I saw a couple episodes.
To be honest, I only watched the ones I was in, but
ain't nothing wrong with that.
But everything was very country. It was not as wild and drunken that it is when they get here. It was just expecting everyone to have cowboy hats and boots.
I do see, even with the Titans game. You ever pay attention to like the music being played during like the commercial breaks of the Titans game? It's always country.
It is,
and it's more to it. I like country. Don't get me wrong, but it's more to it. You know what I'm saying?
There's so much more to it.
Yeah, it's more to it. So that's why we're gonna.
You ever owned a pair of boots?
I did as a kid. I did.
Like cowboy boots.
Yeah, I had the cowboy boots with the plaid shirt.
Did you have a hat?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No. I didn't go that far, but I like the boots though. The boots are cool, man. I
was actually looking at some snake skins the other day.
Hey, they got all kind of stuff, man. Crocodile, like they got everything. But see how I grew up though, like you was flashy. We had the croc boots and all that stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you can dress up and throw the boots on and do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's the boot game is serious here in Nashville.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you the truth. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. You come with your boots ready, you come to Nashville for sure. For sure. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite local artist?
Oh man, see, I grew up with late '90s, man. You talking like Pistol? You talking the early beginnings of Young Buck? You talking Starlito, All Star? You talking Paper? I mean, it's so many people here, man. Like Bottom Boys, it's a lot of music.
You still listen to their stuff now with everything that's out there?
Sometimes I do to get back to the roots. You know what I mean? My brother Tragic, man, listening to him. So
did you get into white boy stuff? Haystack.
Yeah,
Jelly.
I'm cool.
Struggle.
Yeah, all that. Haystack, Jelly Roll. Yeah, I listen to all of it. Yeah, it's good music here though. So that's the thing. Like to see Jelly Roll doing what he's doing now, to know where I know he came from. I don't know him personally, but I know like his story.
Yeah,
it's amazing to see. Yeah, same with Buck. You know what I mean? Like he blew up. He was with a platinum selling artist with one of the biggest groups at the time.
G Unit.
Right. So I mean, it's cool to see, man. And
I mean, that was like Nashville getting put on the map, seeing him with 50.
It was though. So I was down there to one of the video shoots when he came, and it was crazy to see like 50 Cent in the middle of the hood in Nashville. Juvenile, they come through right in the projects in Nashville. You know what I mean? So I'm out there with my buddies, man. You just seeing all these people come through. It's like, this is back then. So now it's crazy. It's crazier. You know what I mean? So it's a good vibe though. Yeah, people love it, man. All the stars love it in Nashville. It's laid back, it's chill. Like anywhere else though. Just stay in your lane, do what you do.
How do you feel as the city's growing? How do you feel about the gentrification that's happening?
It's ups and downs to it. I mean, just like anything else, when you see some things getting pushed out farther, but going to other cities, you see why that's the case. Once everything comes together, meaning get more highways, we get more public trans going on. It'll make sense. But the thing
growing up, there was definitely some places that, at least me as a white dude, I just couldn't go.
Right.
I don't know that really exists anywhere. I mean, except getting into like actual like JC Napier, like
and my buddies grew up over there, so
Edge Hill. Like if Fridge there, I'm good, but like
I mean, you still get it. Same on the black side too, though. Like used to be, you go to Green Hills Mall, they looking at you like, oh, she's gonna be stealing,
Yeah.
or what? But now that's just not the case, man. Like
Yeah.
everybody, Hillsborough High School is right across the street from Green Hills, which a lot of that zone is South Nashville,
Yeah.
which are guys who grew up in the hood,
Yeah.
and they go to this school, and it's like, to me,
Could you imagine if Green Hills was what it when Tia, Marcellus, and all them,
it's crazy. And it's like, man,
Fridge was coming through, and Green Hills was like that.
yeah. So they, that's Edge Hill boys. So it's
Yeah.
like, they coming right to Hillsborough, to where this is across from one of the, the richest spots in the city, and it's eye opening. You know what I'm saying? Like to mix those two. But I think that's what gives Nashville such a good culture, though, because you can mix those two and blend them, and they can kind of go, parallel lines side by side, or even crossover and blend.
Yeah.
So
Because
it's
I love
cool.
the growth that's happening. That's a big question I get. I don't know if you
Yeah.
get it a lot. It's
Same.
like,
Yeah.
how do you feel about the growth and, prices going up? It's like, I love that it's growing, that we're becoming that bucket list city. Especially from coming from somewhere where, like, when I was growing up, like, downtown really wasn't something you were, like, proud of, or, like,
It's not. Yeah, it wasn't the same.
if I had, taken a girl, like, I wouldn't have taken a girl downtown.
No way. Just ride
Growing
around
up.
like we used to do.
Yeah.
And that's it, though. Like,
Yeah. So I'm happy that it's there, but with it growing, with it becoming a safer city, which I do think is all necessary things, but there is a push out of people that have been there for a long time, and that does teeter into a race conversation.
Right. But it's the real conversation, because in Nashville, a lot of black people live around the downtown area, due to maybe like public housing, or just like you said in your grandparents' case, like you buy property, or your grandparents had enough money to get a house then, and it just kind of stays in the family. But now they know those people are getting older, so to develop the land or develop stuff that's around Nashville downtown area, specifically, they just throwing money out left and right and trying to get people, whoever can bite on it, we pay e-cash and get it out. Yeah. And whatever they spend, they'll double back in one lot, and that's kind of what's going on. So
I'm actually part of a board, like a committee over for owning anyone who owns like a business in North Nashville, specifically Buchanan Arts District, of how we can accelerate the growth of that neighborhood and doing it our way without losing the culture of the city. And I don't know any other way to say it, but how to accelerate the growth of the city without waiting for outside money coming in, so it just doesn't get whitewashed.
Right.
But that hasn't really been done in any other part of the city. You look at East Nashville, what it was growing up versus what it is now.
Nah, it's totally
different things like that. So
cool,
it's like
scene is just
cool
different,
scene,
though. Yeah, it's
yeah, but it's just different.
Yeah.
And there's some people that basically saying that like what we're trying to do just can't happen.
I think it can. I mean, you say Buchanan, I say Buchanan, but same thing. I mean, you see what they're doing over there. Like, Black Rob is trying to keep it to where the culture's still there. And then it's that whole Jefferson Street area, TSU, like, leading up to that. It's a stronghold. It's a culture thing that needs to be preserved over there as far as, the black community. And I think they're doing a good job of bringing it back and trying to keep it there. But also being inviting to everybody else and everybody else, and knowing that, hey, the city is growing. It's not just a black or white thing or any other race. Like, hey, if we're going to do what we're supposed to do, meaning like keep the growth going in the direction it's supposed to be going, then it's for everyone. And I think that's what's big for Nashville now. Like, they're really offering stuff to everyone. But at the same time, going back to the cultural side, I think that's the neat part about it. I think it is a way that we still can kind of, keep the Nashville culture there and keep people growing and keep, the black community there, keep black businesses going, small businesses, because that's what really built Nashville, small businesses. Yeah. And now the big ones are coming in. So that's always a battle, too, back and forth. You know what I mean? Because these big corporations are coming in, which is good for the growth of the city. But to your point, it kind of kicks out, the native people that have been here for a while. So that's a constant struggle, no matter how you slice it. But at the end of the day, I think, part of business is adapting and growing and, just finding your niche here within the new Nashville, but for us, it's Nashville's home. So yeah, it's part of one of the things you just got to do. You know what I mean? If you're going to survive here, you have to do the same thing in New York, same thing in Texas, same thing in Houston, which is, it is what it is. So if you come here, just know it's competition, but the upside to it is, man, it's beautiful here. and the people are loving. It's nice, and I mean, you can really make good for yourself here in Nashville.
If there, when I called you talking about this show, the concept, when you really like thought about it and it marinated on you, and you were thinking about like the type of people we're gonna sit down to, the type of brains we're gonna get to like try to like understand. And expose some of those struggles of how people did it, why Nashville, things like that. Is there somebody that came to mind that you might not know personally that you were like, ooh, what can we do to get to that person? Who's somebody you would love to see on the show that you would be excited to talk to?
Man, I would love to see, not just by name, but I like the people who kind of up and drop and leave everything. Come here, find a way, and they carve it out, and they're successful. So that might not be an athlete in the case, but maybe some of the restaurant owners, you know what I mean, who come like, you know what, this is the spot. I know one or two that have come like, you know what, I had places in Atlanta, I had a restaurant somewhere else, but I'm coming to Nashville, and I want to do the same thing, but do it in the Nashville market. So I become
more of
like
that starving artist.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm always
the
underdog.
Yeah.
I want to hear the underdog story. Whoever that is, you know what I mean? I feel like Nashville has so many underdog stories. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think.
Do you feel like that's you?
I definitely feel like that's me. That's why I want to know. You know what I mean? I feel
Were you projected to go to the league all growing up?
I mean, growing up, I was good, but it's something that you don't really find out until you start playing college. Like, you know what? I can see it. My cousin actually went to the NFL, so he went to USC, got drafted by the Oilers back then. So this is, a little bit before the Titans came into play. But he always kept me around it to the point that where I was going to move out to LA at one point.
So even with the legacy of family and how good you were from like a young age all the way through, like you still felt like an underdog
always
on that journey.
Always. And I don't know if it's something I told myself to keep my motivation going, but I just always felt like that. And so, even when I do some success that I did have, I'm not a real, like, in-your-face, shout about what I've accomplished type of person. You know what I mean? I kind of let it speak for itself. But to see other people do it and go through that story and go through that journey, man, I think it's real intriguing. It's something that always draws my ears and heart to. So, yeah, whoever that is, man, we talking to you. So I want to make sure we hear your story about how you did Nashville and how you, kind of stayed on top and stayed afloat amongst all the changes that we have going on here. Yeah, so it's be cool.
Well, I'm excited. I'm honored that you're doing this with me.
Pleasure, my brother.
I'm excited to see where this goes.
All right, let's do it, man. So, hey, if you like the podcast, make sure you share, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.